What's up, everybody? It's your boy SMELLSWORTH. This is the Saltcast, the official podcast of the Salt Mine 1v1 tournament series. It's co-hosted by myself and the show match god, Johnny Boy. Each week, we interview pros and figureheads from the Rocket League community to find out their backstories and how they got to where they are now. The show is recorded live on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/smellsworthless every Tuesday or Wednesday. So sometimes you might hear references to the chat or the inevitability of me messing up audio production, and occasionally something doesn't translate well to audio. Stick with us. We're getting better at these things every show, and if you'd like to, obviously come by and catch the show live every week. The show will be published on all podcasting platforms, YouTube, and on Twitch. If we happen to miss your platform, send me a message. We'll fix it right away. You can find all these releases, the stream schedule, and more at my site, smelly.af. That's right. Smelly.af. Now it's time to enjoy the show. So, good news. Got two wonderful guests for episode 3 of the Saltcast. One of them is using the restroom. The other one is here, fresh off a hot best of 5. How you feeling today, Jack?
Well, after that loss, not too great, but you know.
I know. I was really hoping you guys were gonna eke that one out, just so we could, have you all juiced up on the potty.
No, it was a good series, so they deserve the win, so it doesn't really matter.
Spoken like a true gentleman, Jack.
Apparently.
Man.
Not heard that one before.
Yeah,
Hey, you asked for it. You asked for it.
At some point you might want to switch over to just Jack so that you don't get cliche joked into non-existence for the rest of your life.
My name is like way too easy to make fun of as well. So if I miss something, you just call me apparently bad. It's just I'm not chosen a good name,
Yep.
But...
That's tough. Chat, yeah, how are we on audio, chat? Give me a SMELLSWORTH your terrible streamer if the audio is bad. Jack is quiet. Jack, bit louder, please. No problem. We can make that happen.
We do have a terrible streamer in the chat as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I should have asked something else.
Look at this green screen, by the way. Nice green screen, man.
Jack, what's your Twitter, homie?
ApparentlyJack with an X instead of the A on Jack.
Ah, okay. Some new school stuff there. Let me change that.
I would have had ApparentlyJack, but it's like a female company. Female product company, so
There you go.
Oh, really?
It's not, I don't think it's
potential feature sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you can't see Jack because Jack is joining us on audio only, but I've gone ahead and grabbed his Twitter profile pic, which is a striking resemblance to the real Jack.
Yeah. So it's a quick selfie I took the other day.
Oh, yeah, you like my green screen, Johnny. It's
very nice, yeah.
I've got it set up and I'm not fully using it yet. I did like some prep for this episode, and I started to I deleted all my old scenes and got things ready, and I just got everything to 80%, and then it was I was like, oh wow, we're gonna go live in 30 minutes. I guess I have time for nothing, for none of the things I planned to do. I went through the trouble of downloading a ton of 1990s and 1980s pizza commercials for my loading scene to see all the old pizza commercials. There's some with Trump in them and it's just craziness. And then I was going to have some a countdown going and stuff, and it just did not happen. So we went scuffed once again. We returned to the roots.
Let's be honest. Even if you thought you had everything fully prepared, it would probably still be scuffed when you do go live.
Oh,
something will go wrong.
For sure.
But that's just,
audio worked. Audio worked right away this time. So
yeah, that's a big win.
That's pretty dope because I'm not used to that happening. Last time we did the pod, it did not go down like that as well.
Not behaving. Yeah, it did not work at all.
All right. Cool. Well, it looks like we're all good here. See, you know what? The song is dividing, but there's some people in chat wanting to know what the song is. The song is called Pizza Party by Face Gang 2. It's based on, I think it's called Grove Street by Walk of Like a Flame, where he's like, it's a party, it's a party. But they changed it to Pizza Party very cleverly. And,
An upgrade.
Yeah, huge upgrade. And official theme song of the pod and of the stream. By the way, okay, I see one of my subs in the chat. Hey, what's up, King Spectre? Like when people sub to my channel, now it's going to be welcome to the Pizza Party.
How loud is it? Is it like?
I don't have it set up. It's one of the 80% things, so it's not actually going to work, but in the future, yeah, Adam, I do not live in NA, but I am from NA, as you can probably tell. I live in Paris of France, where it is safe currently. So anyway, Jack, how are you doing, man? Besides the most recent loss, you guys have been playing quite well.
Yeah, we've been doing very well recently. Yeah.
Say more about that, buddy. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's a bit strange because obviously I've spent like years watching these guys on the big stages, and now getting to like play them, beating them or losing to them, whether it's really good, to be fair. So yeah, it's quite nice to see like the hours you've put in is starting to pay off.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine. So this week was officially your first RLCS event. Is that right, or am I wrong about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Big time. Would you say your nerves were higher, at least in like maybe in the beginning, compared to other events, or would you say it's similar?
Well, on the stream it was for the first. We played Dignitas as our first series on like the official Rocket League stream, and we were I was very nervous anyway. So it's a bit different but you have teammates like to back you up, so it's a bit better than ones where it's all by yourself.
True.
But yeah, I think
you could, I guess, talk about that from recent experience quite well. Then, what's the difference between Salt Mine 2 and RLCS X, or what are the differences? Besides the obvious, you've got teammates, so you can make a risky play, but like mentally, strategically, how does it feel?
To be fair, like I've got quite a good mentality. So in ones, I'm not too bad. Like I can. Because I play tennis. I play quite a lot of tennis, so I know how to.
You play tennis?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
So yeah, I've already played for years, so like I know how to kind of deal with that already. So like that's fine in that aspect. Threes it's just nice having two people to like psych you up when you do a good play, or you can hype them up. It's I like threes. Probably a bit better because of that, but I'm not as confident in threes, and that's why it's like sometimes I might play a bit worse due to nerves, whereas in ones, because I'm so confident of my ability in ones.
Who are you? So to change the topic, who's your tennis idol?
Djokovic.
Djokovic.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Is the Djokovic kind of style, or do you resemble someone else?
In what? In Rocket League?
In tennis.
Tennis.
Oh, in tennis. Oh yeah, Djokovic.
Yeah, your play style is Rocket League.
Oh no.
Which tennis player do you try to resemble? Hey, that would be a cool. I want to get to that next, but first tennis.
That's what I was gonna say.
Tennis first of all.
Yeah, probably Djokovic.
Djokovic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick. That's awesome because you've gone for somebody that's not just like beloved by everybody. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
What is it about Djokovic then?
So humble. Like I've met him twice, and like he gives all the time in the world to like fans, and just like he's so good. Like realistically, his play style, I don't know if you watch it, but his play style is so good, and you can't not like him, or you can't not respect him at least.
Well, as a Scotsman, I do, have some bad memories of watching Djokovic just be really, really good at tennis in multiple occasions. But yeah, he's a great player. He's amazing. What do you think? I have to ask. What about Andy Murray, man? I was really hoping that you're gonna give it.
Yeah, you were really trying to set him up there. You're like, hey, is there a certain?
You have to respect him. You have to respect him, obviously. Like he's first British player to win Wimbledon in God knows how many years. Like for that sense, then yeah, he's a great player. But I think can be a bit arrogant. But I know people that my coach has met Judy Murray like numerous times, so I know that she's very down to earth. Like, so I think Andy Murray's would be nice off court. On court, I don't like him.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Does that attitude towards like cocky players carry over into Rocket League?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And so are you a big 3 believer or a big 4? What is it? Which is it? Which was it?
I'm sorry. For an American who sees like Wimbledon occasionally, not even every year, can we get some context?
I'll elaborate. So the best, well, probably the most successful 3 tennis players ever are Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic. And when Andy Murray was at his peak, he was definitely at that level. At one point, he was number 1 in the world. So at his peak, he was at their level, and they were like the 4 players who were by far the best, and everybody else was like not even close. But they have been the 3 best players since before that and after Murray's at the top. So some people would say, oh, they're the big 3, but then for a while it was big 4. So people there's this argument forever whenever you see big 3 or big 4 being mentioned. Some people are like, there's no such thing as big 3. Don't forget Andy Murray just because he's retired, or whenever there's big 4 mentioned, people say, it's big 3. He's not accomplished anywhere near as much. Jack clearly knows way more than me about tennis, so whatever he says is
I'd say
is facts.
I mean, I'd like to say big 4 just because
you're such a nice guy.
Yeah, like obviously, but Murray, we got to realize Murray at his prime is probably on par with them at their prime. Like maybe that's such a
but is it like are we comparing primes or are we comparing like
I'd say
actual
overall,
like output?
Big 3. It has to be big 3 just because the consistency. Those top 3 have always been there.
And Murray had to retire early because of like injuries, right? His body was basically letting go. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people just say that because he was at their level in his prime, it has to be big 4. Because if he was in any other era, he would have had this many, championships or whatever. But I mean, they did it in the hardest era, so I think they are a level above for sure. Maybe we can go a big 3.5 or something.
Big 3 asterisks.
Let's agree on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. I didn't know.
That's good to know. So which tennis player are you in Rocket League then?
Yeah.
Like, are you Djokovic still?
Nah, you like. I say Khaled is more of a Djokovic, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I don't know, because I'm decent with mechanics, but I'm not like a Joris. So like you got to say Joris is for Federer. Khaled's the
Joris is Federer. Okay,
has to be. Khaled's the. Wow, who would you say Joris is?
Who is that? Monfils, who's the French guy?
Oh yeah, Monfils.
Filling out all the wicked, like crazy shots all the time. That could be a Joris if Monfils was better. Then he could be Joris.
Who would be Nadal then?
Oh, I don't know. Like, okay.
Just anyone.
You don't have like a stronger wheel in Rocket League, unfortunately. So go with the lefty and the left-handed player. I don't know. This is tough. This is a really. I want to see somebody do like a big meta-analysis on this, comparing all the best players and tennis players. Jack, do it.
I have to.
There you go. Next stream.
Yeah.
Who would you be? It's tough, actually.
Really
tough. Because you're a bit of. There's a bit of flash and definitely a lot of flair in the gameplay, but it's not completely.
No, it's not
the focus. You definitely have a lot of solid plays as well. It's like a bit of both, maybe.
Yeah. Probably a Wawrinka, just because he's always just been there. He's never been quite at the top, but maybe I can break that.
Right, maybe you could be Murray then, because he's better than Wawrinka, and he's got lobs, drop shots, and stuff, and then he's got like just all the fundamentals as well.
Exactly.
Terrible second serve, so I don't know what that equivalent would be in Rocket League. Kickoff.
Second kickoff of every game.
I'm trying to think of who I would be. Which tennis player demos the most?
Oh God!
I like McEnroe. McEnroe used to kind of like psych people out a little bit, but
yeah.
I have a
And he is
different
American.
I have a different view of him now that I watched that. What was the movie? McEnroe versus who was the Swede? Who's the Swede that was like right in his time? What? Yeah. What would you say, Jack?
McEnroe, Bjorn Borg.
Yeah.
Borg,
Yeah. It's like McEnroe versus Borg or something like that. Is the name of the movie. It's very good, actually. It's really good.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
I don't know. I think I watched it on an airplane, actually.
I remember
it's good.
that came out. I really wanted to see that. I just never got around to it.
It's good. It's really, really good. Yeah. I liked it a lot. It showed a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff there. So
interesting.
Yeah, something to check out. But okay, so you've got plenty of competitive experience. That's helping you out in Rocket League as well. You sort of get everybody gets nervous. All competitors get nervous, but then you know how to change. You know how to turn it into fuel for the fire, so to speak. You know how to use that to get hyped. There was a recent article about you guys from Shift or Rocket League Esports. Actually, in that article, you went out of your way to thank half of the podcast hosts here. Only half, though.
Sorry, I apologize. Next time.
No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, you said it. If you would have put me in there, it would have been, people would have been like, "Who is this? Who is this random person? Is that Jack's dad? Who is he thinking?"
I can't remember what you wrote exactly, but what was it?
Yeah, May, could you read it out loud to Johnny? He really needs to hear it.
Do you want me to?
No.
I've got it here.
He said, "Thank you for the tournaments that you've run, Johnny.
Thank you for the recent tournaments.
Yeah,
they've been amazing."
That's where it stops, though. Yeah. Only the recent tournaments. That's all you've done for the scene, bud.
Yeah,
nothing that.
Nothing else.
Man.
Well, I mean, a lot of people will remember Salt Mine because it's just happened, but before that was Fusion. You guys didn't have the best run overall at the final event, but you individually definitely, I think, caught a lot of people's attention because of that reverse sweep of Jaria's in the ones.
Yeah.
And then going all the way to the very end of the series against Vitality, beating Fairy Peak 2-1, and then I think you tied Alpha. No, he beat you. Sorry. When he just came in with a totally different playstyle. What was that? The first like really big competition tournament that you had been in?
Well, see, I've only been playing like competitive Rocket League for like since February. But I went to a LAN in January, so that was kind of like that was in France, so that was like my first kind of like big one. But I'd say Fusion was where it kind of kicked off. Yeah, definitely.
You guys you beat Dignitas in the qualifier for that. Where in that series, or you beat Jarius in a 1v1. Then if I'm not mistaken, you and Dead Monster beat was it Yukio and Panda in a 2v2?
Yeah.
And then they picked 3v3 as the run back, and you beat them in that as well. So you just beat them in all three of the game modes, one after another, and people are like, "What is going on?" Like what are Dignitas doing in the lower bracket? They obviously made it into the main event as well through the lower bracket. But was that win like where you guys realized like, whoa, wait a minute, we can actually do this? Or were you always like really hopeful about this because the format was 1s, 2s, and 3s? Did you have high hopes from the beginning?
Format like it definitely helped us. Like we gained like a lot of confidence from the start. But after that win against Dig, I think it was like we had all the momentum going into. I guess that was our second last match, and then we played Endpoint, I think, for the qualifier.
Yeah, and then you just air dribble bump relating wave about 5 times and got the virtual so really mad on Twitter. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, that was when we beat Dig. We kind of like we knew that we could definitely make it. But like going into that series, we knew we could beat them, but we knew it was hard because like they had such a good ones player as well. So yeah.
And you know Jarius quite well, right? From
back
in PS4 days.
For quite a few years now.
So what's the PS4 scene like? Because you guys both recently switched from PS4 to PC. Like what's happening over there on the PS4? How's the daily like Rocket League life on the other platform?
So I don't really know anymore. Like when I switched in February, so I'll go from before then. It was like the top players were me, Louis P, and Cash. Because I think Joyce switched in like last August now.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But
Tristan Pollock, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the pizza party. Sorry, I just had to do that, guys.
Tristan, how you doing, man?
Now I think it's quite like it's very Middle Eastern focused at the top, or maybe NA, but I have no idea about NA. All the really good PS4 players have kind of moved over now, I think.
Yeah. So what is it that's different? Is there any like consistent thing that you can see from PS4 players? Because I've got a couple of
as in playstyle wise.
Yeah, playstyle or tendencies. What do you think of what do you expect to see from a PS4 player who switches to Steam?
It depends. So if they play ones on PS4, when they switch to Steam, they'll if they're like top 30 global in ones on PS4, they'll always get top one in PC. That will just happen. So Def LFY.
Yeah.
He'll probably move over to PC, become a massive ball chaser with the most insane mechanics, and get top one easily. That's always what happens with a good.
Do you think it's just because the game is generally better, more playable on PC than the frames are so much better. Even if you're at 60, I mean the frames are just more consistently at 60 on a PC.
Input lag on PS4 as well.
Yeah,
I went back to reset.
It's
PS4.
awful.
Yeah, you can't see across the pitch. It's blurry, the back wall is blurry, and I go to PS4 players do you not notice this? They're like, no, it's fine. I was like,
yeah, because before you switch, it's not as bad. It's like when you switch to a 144 hertz monitor, you don't really notice the difference. But then when you go back, you're like, whoa, how did I ever play with this screen actually causing my eyes physical pain? It's really quite something.
144 hertz is earth shattering.
Yeah, 144 is massive. It's like a necessity. It's like such a big difference.
Are you at 144, Jack?
Oh yeah, okay, I'm
nice.
At 144.
Because I bought I started on a PS4, and then I started getting coaching from Johnny, and then I was like, okay, I'm buying a PC, and I switched. Rocket League was the whole reason I switched to PC, and I didn't realize I put together my PC on my own, not knowing what I was doing. I watched a YouTube video of some custom build, so I just would pause it and try to do what he was doing to put it together. And I didn't realize you had to change in NVIDIA the control panel to 144 hertz. It's honestly sort of ridiculous that you do have to do this. So I played on 60 for a really long time after buying 144 hertz, but I was like, this is incredible. And then when I figured out to go to 144, I was like, what?
It's actually incredible.
It's way more incredible. So many. I know it's. I had a couple friends that have done that, but it was so great actually because I got two amazing experiences as opposed to just switching to 144. I was after a while you get used to 144 and you're just okay, yeah, I'm used to this now. It's nothing special. But when I go 60 first for probably 2 weeks or something, and then boom, it was awesome.
Have you played 250? It's so smooth that it looks like everything's in slow motion. It makes life look like in slow motion. If you're playing 250 and then you see somebody walk past you, you're like, are they even moving? What are they even moving? I don't know if they are. And the game is just so good. I'm afraid to ever get one because it's too good. So I don't want to do it. I tried it before and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I need to stick with 144. That it just really limits how many different setups you can play on. Because you need a 250.
Isn't there a 360 coming out?
Get out of here. Is there? How many frames do we need?
I know.
That's ridiculous. I was going to ask, by the way, Jack, your teammates Polar and Dead Monster.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? I know that it was somewhat explained in the Shift Esports interview, but do you want to go into more detail on that one?
Sure,
Johnny only read the one sentence about him, and then he's like, "All right, moving on."
So I was when would this have been? March maybe, or maybe April, I'm not sure, somewhere around then. I tried out with Dead Monster quite a few times with some different players, and Dead Monster and Polar had tried that with a few different players, and so Dead was like, he said to Polar, why don't you come and try it with me and Jack? He's quite good. And Polar was like, no, I'm not too sure about he doesn't. I don't think he's that good.
What is the O1s, mate? Please tell me he called the O1s, mate, or a ball chaser or something.
Maybe he might have. I don't know the full story, but I know that he wasn't too keen on the idea.
Polar, we need the details, mate. Polar, leak it.
In in all fairness, I wasn't like I did improve like very quickly from teaming with them. So I wasn't. I was probably like a lot worse than them at the time. But obviously we like scrimmed. I think we scrimmed like an RS team first scrim, and we just like we did really well. So we were like, oh, we should definitely just keep trying this.
Yeah.
And we just carried on. We didn't lose. Like obviously you can't win scrims, but we didn't lose like many games in scrims for like 3 weeks. So we were
Careful,
just like,
don't
oh,
do
why
like
not?
Gregan. Don't leak the
Oh
scrim
no, no.
scores. Or you're gonna
Yeah, of
get
course.
massive backlash on Reddit for some reason.
Yeah. No, but we did well in scrims, so we were like, oh, why not give this a shot? We started team, and then we won like the Nice Cactus Weekly the first day we teamed, so that was quite a nice like confidence booster, and then we kind of just stuck.
That's interesting. I want to know what
Yeah.
Polar thought. I really hope it was because you're a ones player. That's just
Oh, that would've
hilarious to
been
me.
great.
What do you think about the whole ones player transitioning to 3v3
I think,
conversation that always comes up? What are your
yeah,
takes on that?
I think like to be, I think to be the best player in the world, you have to be like a competent ones player. Like you don't
I
have to
like
be
that.
the greatest ones player. You like
My man.
at some point,
My man.
yeah, at some point, like top 10 ones. It's not like obviously it's a lot, but you don't have to be the world's best, but you have to be able to play it. I think it gives like
Yeah.
a lot of skills that like I get into situations in threes, and I'm like, I only know how to deal with this or how to get out of this because I play ones, and I see like a lot of threes players don't know how to deal with that. So I'm all for it. Like
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
never stop playing. Never stop playing ones.
It's interesting to me because even players who at some point in their career played a lot of ones and they take a huge break from the game mode, then they can just come back into it. It's kind of like riding a bike because
Yeah.
once you've put in that time learning how to play the game mode, even if the mechanics of the game advance and the meta as a result adapts, like what's viable and what people are doing in different positions, it's still though the overall like the fundamentals of positioning and how to just beat one other player, they
Yeah.
never really go away. So that's why players like Fairy Pete can come back from like I don't know how many months of not being at the top level and beat a player like Khaled
Yeah.
because he's been at that level before and he knows how to do it. So I think yeah, it's definitely something that I would agree with. Like the best players just tend to either be players who have at some point been really good at ones or can be really good at ones and just
Yeah.
haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it gives you such like good fundamentals as well. And I always find ones players like they just improve in the fastest amount of time, like in the shortest amount of time. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to get good quickly, I think you just main ones. I mean, when you first switch to threes, I'm not gonna lie, you're terrible, but
Mhm.
it just takes time, like anything, and you'll probably be better than you'll probably just surpass the players that you were struggling against in like 2 months time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
It
just a
doesn't
matter of
surprise me.
like it's a matter of habits and positioning and stuff when you're switching from one game mode to the other. Really, it's just like
Yeah,
getting in the mindset of the other game mode. So
It may make sense
fair to say.
mechanically that you'd improve faster though as well because you're doing more and you have more influence. You're getting to hit the ball more.
exactly.
You're just at
Yeah,
the center of what's happening all the time. Whereas in twos and threes, you're sometimes just you rotate. Like that's why it's much easier for like streamers to play twos or threes because you could just go back and get boosted, read a couple subs, and then be like, okay, what
yeah,
happened? Let's see what's happening next. But
yeah,
once you can't really do that, you have to constantly be full focus, or else you're getting scored on. Um, yeah, I like that somebody's quoted this as well. Just play the game, Jack.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, like half of it is like I get people like coming to my stream asking like, oh, how do I get from D1 to C1? Like, just play the
Yeah,
game.
just play, man.
It's like
Just play a
obviously there's
bunch.
little things, but it's
Yeah,
you just got to put it out.
do you feel like so I think that people that have gotten good at something before, so tennis, whatever, I don't know, maybe if you've ever played instruments or anything like that,
Mm.
it's easier for you to get good at something like a new game or like Rocket League. Do you find yourself do you bring any drills or habits or anything like that from tennis to Rocket League?
Definitely, yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean,
what is your practicing look like? Are you just ranked monster or
I
are you a
used to
ranked
be
dash monster or do you do other things?
I used to be like a ranked warrior when I was on PS4. I was really good at ranked, really like at the top, and in any game mode, and then if you would put me in a 6-man's, I wouldn't be so good. So like going to PC, I knew I had to kind of try and step away from ranked, and I don't know why, but it kind of did that naturally. I'm not actually that good at ranked anymore. Like I'm sure if I grinded 2s, I could get high. I'm obviously good at ranked 1s, but 2s and 3s, I just it doesn't it doesn't even appeal to me because it's so different to competitive. I think so. I kind of just focus on a lot of free play and just a lot of repetition. So if you want to like get good at something, it's all about repetition.
Mm-hmm.
If you in tennis, if you want to get a really good serve, hit 100 serves. If you want to get a really good kickoff, do 100 kickoffs. It's kind of the same
Mm.
principle in anything, I think.
That's interesting. But not everyone will be able to just replicate what professional players can do and what extremely high level players can do. For some people, the learning takes a long time, and the muscle memory takes a long time to really become a thing. Like, how important do you think the mentality aspect of that is, even for ranked? Because for some people, ranked is the highest level of competition that they're ever gonna. Most people probably ranked is the highest level of competition they're ever gonna do in Rocket League. They're never gonna play a tournament, and that's fine. You know, the ranked tournaments are for everybody. Tournaments aren't even like possible for everybody to win. But yeah, ranked. It doesn't matter what rank it is. Like, where does the mental game come in? Like, is it possible to rank up well, thinking that all your teammates are trash and you are in ELO hell, the rank system's broken? Like, what do you reckon about all this?
I mean, I definitely know a lot of players that are like around my level now, and I still play today. That back up in PS4, they have that mindset that they're just better than all the teammates. They flame all their teammates, even back in like Champ 1. Not going to name any names, obviously, but they got up there. So, like, obviously they can do it. I guess you can, but I think it helps if you don't. And also, it's just kind of like morals, really. Just don't think that all your teammates are trash, and as well, like they're in the same rank as you, or like most of the time, as long as the matchmaking's good, you're going to get this similar ranked teammate. Some players just don't gel with other players. You can't help with that. So you just got to keep like a good mindset, I'd say.
Okay, okay. That's well, Matt, was there anything else in the interview that you wanted to bring up? Or
I guess one thing that I thought was interesting is it seemed like you got. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe everybody says this, but you guys are like, yeah, we can be number one. We believe we would be number one. That's our goal. That's everything. What would you say? Do you think makes your team different than the other teams competing? Like, why would you beat the other teams and be number one?
I still think like teams kind of underrate us a little bit sometimes. I think we can kind of catch other teams off guard right now. Uh, and it's always a common thing that RLCS teams struggle against bubble teams because maybe the play style like it's a bit different, and obviously they only practice against RLCS teams. They compete against RLCS teams every week in the season, and they only scrim against them. So when they come up against a bubble team like us, they kind of don't know what we're doing. I think we're kind of still riding off that a little bit. But we go into every match thinking that we can win, we can go on top, and we have nothing to lose normally. Obviously, hopefully that will change if we get up. But like teams that we're playing against that are better than us, they kind of if they lose, then they're going to get all these comments. Where if they win, that it's expected. So I think we're kind of just playing off that a little bit right now. But yeah, that definitely helps us.
What do you think? Like, Flakes is pretty vocal about what he thinks about like the state of Rocket League. Do you think that there's anything in the 3v3 game that you think like is very like clearly lacking? Like, do you think that there's ways for the meta to improve quickly if certain teams decide to do it?
The whole Flakes play style.
No, I don't necessarily mean Flakes. He's more of like an example. Like he's pointed out that the, possession is really lacking. And I think actually like, going from like the salt mine and watching the salt mine to watching threes definitely feels like there's a lot more mindlessness enabled by the game mode for sure. Like not every little detail is planned and whatever. And I do think that he does have some points about like possession and the lack of, controlling the ball a lot of time. Maybe not all the time. He's a bit dogmatic about it, but I was just curious if there's any gaps in the game that you see that you think, this should improve and will improve in the near future, or that you'd like to improve, I guess?
I'd say like there's always going to be like different things that you can improve and will just naturally improve over time. I don't think I can point any out. But the thing is with Rocket League, I think it's such a different game because there's so many scenarios, like literally billions of like little scenarios in the game where you can do this, you can do that. I don't think there's always a right and wrong answer. So I don't think like I'm gonna go on to the flex playstyle a little bit. I don't think you can kind of say that every team has to play like this, and if you're not playing like that, it's wrong because it's just different playstyles. And I've actually like thought about that playstyle quite a lot. I've gone back and forth. It's good, it's not, but it's just different. Like it's every team will have a different playstyle. Every player will have a different playstyle.
Yep.
It's if everyone just played like that, then what? The game's just going to be full of everyone fake challenging the ball and no one's going to hit it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I think the game will definitely change over time. The meta will switch, but I think it'll just keep getting faster because if you look at any competitive game, any competitive sport, it's going up by getting faster majority of time. I think that'll just come with time and people just like naturally improving the mechanics. I think it'll mainly become mechanics in the future. I reckon we've not discovered over 100 mechanics that's still in the game. I bet, and like that'll come out, and then yeah, that'll just naturally improve.
Yeah, I think that, and also faster passing plays, like pinches are sort of a thing now. I think people will also do something that's like similar to a pinch, but it's more like you're slightly spaced and you're really quickly hitting it to your teammate, and it's a very, very fast counterattack. A lot of those passing plays still have quite a bit of distance between the players, or at least more than I'm envisioning. So I think pinches will become a thing, and then some passing that's like slightly further than a pinch. It's almost as if your teammate is like dunking you. Something like that. Like, because I think changing the direction of the ball really quickly like that is going to be very effective against defenses. I kind of feel like that's going to happen. I think I like most of what Flakes says. Like I said before, I think he's a bit dogmatic about it. Like he just is like, he's drilling everybody into it a bit much. I think that, like, principally, like he's saying, yeah, we should do better with possession. We should control the ball if we can, we should fake challenge and rotate so we can create opportunities for our teammates to play defense. But that's not always how it comes out. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of new play styles. I think one reason, like that the guys that you guys just played against as well, the SRG boys, they've brought a whole new sort of feel to Rocket League. It seems like from coming from playing high ping all the time to basically forcing Rocket League to explore new play styles. I know you talk about this a lot, Johnny.
Yeah. So very surprising playstyle to go up against the SRG one. I think it definitely caught many teams off guard in the past, and my explanation for it, I've not actually confirmed this because I've never played Middle East to EU myself, but I would guess they just have to go for it. And from watching Ahmad's stream, they just have to go for the ball a lot of the time. They're like, well, at no point faking a challenge, because what am I really going to accomplish? Because even if the other guy does do something, I can't really exactly react to it anyway on this ping, so I'm just going to go and see what happens. And, oh, cool, like won the ball, nice, I'm going to do that again. It just like breeds more aggression. But yeah, the mechanical ability that's necessary to compete with people who are playing on like 80-90% ping less than you is definitely noteworthy. I think it's like training with weights. You just say your mechanics have to get better, or else you can't keep up with people who are seeing the ball move in the direction it's going before you do. They actually just have an advantage in terms of they know what's happening before you do. So your mechanics have to be insane. But yeah, the mechanical level is really just getting pretty ridiculous right now in the bubble scene as a whole. I think that's something that's going to cause a lot of the older teams to have to really just reconsider the way they play the game, because it might work in RLCS in the old format, but now in RLCS X, will it work? Just this, I think, slower gameplay. It doesn't work in NA anymore because all the new teams like Space Station Gaming and Pittsburgh Knights, when they came onto the scene, they were just destroying like G2, Cloud9, etc. I expect the same thing's going to happen in EU. We've already seen a bit of a teaser on it with Oxygen and Team Liquid getting eliminated. So I expect more of that. Speaking of like the bubble scene takeover, Jack, I don't know if you saw the subreddit or the Reddit post about how many English players are
I
in
like
the.
talking about this.
Yeah. How many English players are currently? Well, I guess it's linking
24.
UK players because Scrubkill is also listed as one of the players here, although it is only one of the 16. But yeah, there's 16 UK players in the RLCSX top 16 for this first event that's happening next weekend. 16. Yeah, there's.
There was 24
Devo.
in the top 32, so that's impressive.
Yeah, 16 have made it into the top 16. We got Bluey. Bluey isn't there. Devo from Barcelona. You got Nolly and Scrub. You've got Archie and who else is it on top blokes? Why am I blanking on this? Endpoint, of course, Relating Wave. You've got yourself and Polar. There's Scrub. I've already said Scrub. There's Breezy. And who else is on Breezy's team? Hibs, of course. Not Gigs, Hibs. Bluey, Tadpole. Oh, he's not English either. He's Welsh.
The whole of Last Resort, Resi, Boys School Q, Sebada.
Yeah, the whole of Last Resort, and then of course Ixo for Monkeys. Who else is on? Somebody Flame, of course. I remember Flame on top looks. There's 16 of them compared to only 10. Still absolutely ridiculous. 10 French players.
Completely
but
falling
the French
off.
players are more like centralized on lots of like the full Solary French lineup, 2/3 BDS lineup, 3 out of 3 Vitality lineup, and then of course Casio from Top Blokes.
Did you guys say Nolly or Nolly?
I say Nolly. I think it's Nolly.
Yeah, no. Did you mention him?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody in chat mentioned him. I didn't hear you say it.
Yeah, but yeah. What do you reckon's happening over mostly in England, but I guess in the UK overall?
I mean,
because it's the beginning of the end for France as the dominant force.
Definitely on top. England's on top. Like obviously, like the UK bubble scene is definitely the best. Like I don't think it's in question. It has been that for like at least 6 months. As from what I know from competing, it's been like that since I started competing. It's just I don't know why. I'm not sure why, but it's just I think we kind of like we talk to each other a lot. We play with each other a lot, so that probably helps. Similar with the French community back in the day. French bubble scene isn't like it's still really good, but it's not as I don't think it's as good as UK. I don't know if there is a reason for it, but like we seem to be doing well at the moment. So I hope we carry on with that way and hopefully.
How would Ferry be the reason for it?
No, he says I don't know if there is a reason for it.
I thought you said Ferry. I was like, what,
No,
you're blaming the decline of the French scene on Ferry? This is a hot take. I'd love to hear more.
That'd be a bit controversial.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to dig for.
Yeah. Bubble players. Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of the UK or a lot of the success of the UK scene has to do with there being so many players who play Rocket League in the UK. Like I don't know if my like analytics for my channels is anything to go off, but UK is way ahead. Like I get way more UK viewers than I do France or Germany or any other like large UK or large European country. Now obviously there are different language broadcasts, and I'm sure a lot of the French viewers are watching French channels, and a lot of the French viewers are watching French videos and stuff like that. But there's no denying the UK scene is massive, like viewership and also player base, and now bubble scene and professional player base as well. It's an exciting time for UK Rocket League for sure.
Definitely.
But yeah, somebody else in the comments of this thread did point out that all the French players are at the top of this list in terms of seeding, and all the UK ones are at the bottom. How long is it until that flips? Do you think, Jack?
Like true. If I wanted to be a bit cocky, after this RCS season, gotta be back in the boys. But nah, in reality, I think the French players right now, it's just ridiculous. Like they're just too good at the moment, I think, to be able to overtake them anytime soon. But hopefully in 6 months' time we might see a switch. But I don't think it will come anytime soon, really. Like, if you
Before
look just
Vitality stop
yeah,
what they're currently doing.
before yeah, just before any of those three, yeah.
Before Fairy Peak and Gate Up, and I guess Alpha as well, but mostly Fairy Peak and Gate Up to stop grinding Rocket League. They just will not stop playing this game,
I know.
and they're so good, and they have so much
I think
experience.
I think it just goes to show you just got to put the hours in because I think BDS have like I've heard they grind the game and that look at their takeover recently.
Mhm. Yeah, the grind is definitely a big part of it. So we were talking about this, was it last week, Matt? The how many hours you need
Yeah, I
to
think
put
so.
in?
Yeah.
I think it was last week. What do you reckon about that, Jack? Some people were saying, just two or three. Like this game's easy after you learn all the mechanics. You don't really need to practice. And other players are saying, no, come on, you need to put in like 8 or 10, or
Yeah.
like at least 6. Like, I'm definitely leaning towards the 6+ myself.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I think it obviously differs per player. It's just different for everyone. But if I was to give my take on it, I think like to get to the top, I think you have to be consistently putting at least 6 in to get to the top.
Hmm.
Once you're at the top, maybe it can go down to 4 because there's not as much of an incentive to grind ranked. Like all 6-mans, you see 6-mans is barely used at the top right or recently. But to get there, you have to use those things. You have to play more, and you have to realistically, you have to overtake the players that have put in more hours than you. You have to get more hours than them. So you're gonna have to put more hours per day in to get to the top. But it's because I heard probably like a year ago now, Turbo Pulsar said something like, "Oh yeah, I only put 2 hours a day in, and that's just
Yeah,
scrims." I mean, he's still doing well, but all I'm going to say is you can
yeah.
see from play styles normally who puts in more hours. It's obviously the
You can
mechanical
see
one.
who's own goaling and scoring
Yeah,
accidental flicks, and
yeah,
who's scoring ceiling shots and flip reset plays. So,
And
yeah,
learning the new
Turbo's
mechanics
the
too.
best player in threes ever, but he's hanging on right now. It looks like
yeah.
he's hanging on. I don't know if him getting kicked off NRG is relight the fire to
Maybe.
get grinding again. But he better, because I don't think he's looked too great recently, as nor is his team. His new team, they've looked pretty rusty. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, even like when he was teaming with Garrett and Justin, he was by far the worst mechanically in that team.
hmm
Um, and I mean, Garrett and Justin were nearly able to win tournaments without him. Like, I think he was an upgrade mechanically on Fireburner, and obviously an upgrade in terms of what he's accomplished and as a mental player. But yeah, Garrett and Justin, like, you put any mechanical player with them, they're probably going to be world championship potential. Like,
yeah,
nothing on Turbo, who's the best player ever, by the way. But you put anyone on that team, and they're going to be a threat for a world championship. Anyone who's got 4 wheels, a controller, and a reasonable level of mechanical skill. We're seeing that, and hey, the people are going to think I'm roasting Squishy now, but not. But we're seeing now, like with Squishy, how many people were like, that's not going to work. You can't put 3 players that are this mechanically good in one team. They're going to crash into each other. They're going to all go for a silly shot at the same time. Yeah, coldest take I've ever heard. Now they're obviously going to be great because Squishy's mechanics are also good, and he's
yeah,
another player with like lots of tournament experience and success competitively. So I am like so unsurprised to see them doing well.
mhm.
But yeah, not everybody was apparently. Some people are like, "Whoa, I was wrong about this team."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Quickly,
yeah, of
like, what do you
course.
think of that? Like, whole ideology of that you can't have 3 mechanical players, you can't have 3 attacker players, you can't have 3 defense players.
Yeah,
So I have no idea where it's come from. I don't agree with it
ridiculous. It's
personally. Yeah,
absolutely
Well,
ridiculous.
people
I
are just
don't
taking
know.
stuff from that they hear from sports, and they're
yeah,
just like they just won't need to say something, right? Like because like in the NBA or something, which is where this argument gets brought up a lot. But in the
Oh,
NBA,
really?
like
Is that where it comes from?
yeah, like LeBron
Ah,
and like these really like dominant scorers or players or whatever. The thing about the NBA is like sometimes for a player to be very good, like a Kobe or a Kobe, excuse me, instead of like Kobe, Japan, for them to be really good, sometimes they have to be warm and they have to have the ball a lot and they have to take a lot of shots and to be on top of their game, and then they bring another all-star into that team, and now they're like, you know, the amount of time they spend with the ball is less, and can they adjust and can they do well with it? But possession doesn't work the same way in Rocket League. You can't, like, you know, it's not like as if like you bring a squishy onto the team and he just dribbles the ball around the field untouched. You know, you're forced to pass. There's rotation. It's just it's quite a bit different. You don't possess the ball the same way. But that, I think, is where that argument gets made the most in professional sports, at least in the US. It relates to that, because you can just hold on to the ball if you want. You know, you can 1v5 the other team in the NBA. So I think that's mostly where it comes from.
Interesting. There's probably some other sports as well.
Probably
this idea comes from, but no,
I mean, maybe football. I mean, do they make that argument in football at all? I mean, I guess it's the pitch is so big.
Yeah. England used to have that problem with there being too many players who wanted to play center midfield and no wingers.
Yeah.
They had all this talent, but they just couldn't put them in a formation. But I think in Rocket League, it's much more to do with personalities that work well together, and just in general ideology of what players want to do. Synergy like naturally comes into that as well, because if players want to play a certain style, like, okay, let's just sling the ball as hard as we can every single time and go up as fast as we can for all the rebounds, like, you know, the Giants gaming kind of style, or even like the style that's seeing Greasy and Magnifico do well these days, just be extremely fast and no hesitation. SRG as well are a team that come to mind. Or do you want to go the other way completely and become Flakes times 3? Like, if you have a team like Barcelona with Flakes, that you don't have 3 players who have the same way that the game wants to be played in their head, yeah, it's obviously not going to work. But that's not because you know, they were trying to do the same things, or they were all too mechanical. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's just because they, you know, one of them would do something and the other would say, actually, maybe instead of doing that, you should do this. And the player who's, you know, just playing his game, he's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just want to hit the ball really hard off the backboard. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to dribble. So I think that's where Rocket League synergy really, really matters. Mental synergy and also play style synergy. Like, mechanics, irrelevant. Like, how can having a player with better mechanics, like if you clone someone and then improve their mechanical ability, and then put them back in your team, they'd probably be a better team.
Yeah, I think it has to do with
be a bad thing.
It has to do with what you were saying, right? Like, I think sometimes like good, we have a tendency to believe that players with good mechanics will take all the shots, or like will never pass the ball and whatnot. And I just don't think it doesn't work like the NBA, and I don't think that that's going to be as much of a problem.
There aren't really positions.
The mentality mismatch, or like the personality mismatch that, you know, we have seen in the past, like, you know, the comms on the Dignitas video before Astral left is an example of, like, you know, a mismatch in that regard.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised if most of the roster changes that have happened in the history of Rocket League, and I don't really know all the details on these on this to give this comment, but I think most of them are probably, you know, to do with personality, not because of gameplay. Like, it's always because players are just like not getting along anymore. They're like, nah, I just want to play with someone else. Good vibes.
You see like Yukio doing, I think anyway, he's playing really well on the new Dig roster. So I'm not sure if that's anything to do with Astral going, but it's a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, if that video is any indication of what their comms were like a lot, I can imagine he's probably thinking more about the game and less about his arguments with Astral. And not to say, you know, I'm not blaming anybody in particular there.
Yeah.
You know, it takes 2 to tango. So they clearly, at least in that one video, that one instance, that's all we have in terms of understanding how well that team was doing. But yeah, I think we could probably draw some conclusions there. So yeah, stylistically and mentality wise, you match up with certain people better. It's good. It's good to explore that.
Speaking of matchups, this is a really bad transition, but I wanted to ask Jack this question. So I was informed today during my stream immediately before this one that you were actually the player that Khaled beat to get 1800 in 1v1. Because you apparently, tell me if I've got this right, this is what my Twitch chat told me, you were trying to queue into Dead Monster. You're on Discord with him and he's streaming. You tried to snipe him, but you accidentally got Khaled instead. and that was the game that he got 1800
right.
with. What happened?
So
in this game?
it's a bit like contradicting what you said earlier, because you said that I agree with it. Like loads of the top ones players, they can take like 3 months off and still be back and one of the best. Like if I go 2 days without like playing ones, I'm so like bad sometimes. Sometimes I'm fine, but sometimes I'm really bad. And I tried to like get back into it the first day, and then like first game, I queue into him. Like I wanted to be the ones to get 1800. Queue into Cali, he's like 1797. I'm like, great. It's like he beats me. I think it was like 9-3, and I forfeited at like a minute left. I was like, oh, congrats. But I was like, oh, how is that?
I want to clarify. I didn't mean that when somebody takes a huge break from ones, you can literally queue up and be good the very next game. I meant like after a little bit of time. But
yeah,
that's funny. And apparently you can hear the whole thing on Dead Monster's stream because you were commentating on this on Discord.
Yeah,
while
I was
happening.
so annoyed. I was like, I can't believe it. I was planning to do I wanted to do like a huge series, try and get 1800, trying to race him. And the day before, I was like 1750,
Yeah.
and I lost like 50 points because, like I said, haven't played once for a few days. I'll probably lose like 100 MR for some reason. So I was like, oh, he's probably like 1750. I tried to snipe dead. He's gained like 40 points in like an hour. I'm like, how have you done that? It's like.
I don't know who else he beat, but yeah, OSM was pretty annoyed because he's like, apparently he's got a good rank to match up against Khaled. He's taken rank 1 from Khaled before, so he was hoping that he could queue into him, but Khaled
I
got 1800
despise
when he wasn't
playing
online.
OSM.
You despise playing against OSM?
It's
Why?
so weird. So weird. He's so good at ones. Like he's very good at ones, but he's just like it's always that thing where it's like I know that you're gonna ball chase, but I don't do anything against it, so I'm just gonna call it a ball chase, and I just keep like just playing into him. And I don't know why, but he always has a good matchup against me.
Interesting. Yeah, OSM's he's made a couple of high climbs to high ranks this year, but it didn't transition well into Fusion qualifiers or to Saltmine qualifiers where he really struggled. So the competition has really let him down recently, even though he still keeps on making high ranked
Who was he
runs.
with in Fusion? I remember he was
He was in a lot team, a lot in T-Gray's team. Yeah, they got him in as a ones player, but he didn't end up doing as well as they'd hoped. Somebody in chat says that they think that game, the Jack Khaled game, is on ball chasing. Well, I need to get my hands on that replay. Let me start Khaled's. See if I can find it.
No, I don't think it's Khaled. It'll be on mine if you really want to. I'm pretty sure it's like 9-3. Horrible.
9-3. Well,
see, I do really well against Khaled in ranked. So that's the most annoying part because he was so close to 1800 and I was like 1720 like the other week. I just stole all his points and I kind of overtook him a bit.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Yeah. So I do really well against him in ranked. So I was like, why does it have to be now?
Jack, I found it. I got it. Oh, Khaled versus Jack. 9-2. It was 5:30. No, sorry. It was at 16 minutes to 7 on the 3rd of August. I found it. Oh, nice.
You know, one thing I really like about how like everybody's one's intelligence is sort of improving. That like even hearing that you lost 9-2, like I think like a year ago, people would be like, "Oh my god!" And now like because you've done so much work with ones, Johnny, that like it's just, oh yeah, okay, that was just one game. Like the next game could have easily gone Jack's way. Like it's so interesting because in 3s or in 2s or whatever, I don't think you see those swings like that.
9-2, no.
Yeah, and it just feels it's so interesting because just the psychology of hearing that, you know, I think previously a lot of people would have been like, oh, Jack got slapped, and maybe he did for that game, but everybody kind of just realizes, oh yeah, it's just that one game.
Yeah,
it could go anyway. Totally. Are you hoping to play in more ones tournaments in the future?
Well, I love the game mode. It's so good. Unfortunately, like it just doesn't get enough attention. Obviously, the only person that kind of does it justice is Johnny. So if more comes up, then yeah, definitely. Like I'll always play it. I'm not grinding it right now to get to a top. I'm kind of just playing like a couple games a day, maybe just to keep it up. But yeah, I'd love to carry on playing it.
Nice.
Sorry, one more question on the before I stop talking about it, so you can hopefully forget it ever happened. But the game against Khaled, it was in Utopia Coliseum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I find it.
Yeah.
That's quite funny. Man, ballchasing.com is amazing. What a reason.
Did
you auto-upload that by accident, or you like just left auto-upload on or something?
No, I have it always just for scrims.
Ah. Wait, you auto-upload your scrims?
Yeah.
To ballchasing.com. So people can spy on the Stormtrooper scrims today.
Oh, come on. Really? Is it that like are we that like going into it?
Hey, I would probably stop uploading your scrims. Somebody's gonna like be mad about that. I don't know. I can imagine somebody would be mad about that. If you guys completely clap another team in scrims and it gets auto-uploaded to ballchasing.com and then some like random guy, I don't know who that could be, pulls it off the website does a video on it. Like, yeah, that could definitely.
To be fair, I wouldn't put it past some people to get annoyed over that. Like we have, like some of the people are quite childish sometimes in the community, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like,
it's not realistically.
whatever.
And if they have that big of a problem, then I'll obviously stop it. But
I think it's funny. I'm just saying. I'm predicting somebody getting mad about that in the future.
Yeah.
But probably. I mean, what exactly are they going to do? Like, I guess maybe they don't scrim you again.
Johnny's trying to become the TMZ of Rocket League right now.
Don't people get mad at that? Like,
it's true. Yeah, there's just not enough drama in the Rocket League community. People have to make it.
Yeah.
Create drama. But yeah, that was just interesting. I heard about this on stream today. I for a moment thought that somebody was telling me you streamed Khaled's 1800 game. I thought, wow, I need to go watch that. But it's just Ed wants to stream the audio, so.
Yeah, and now that he's made it, a bunch of people are deciding to chase him. Joria's decided to chase him.
Yeah, you can still race Joria's. He's gonna try and do it. Jesse's gonna try and do it.
Oh yeah, Jesse is, to be fair, main competition. But Joria's, he tweeted that he was gonna try it, and then I think it was like 2 hours later. He's like, "Nah,
4 hours."
Can't be bothered. Oh yeah,
4 hours later.
Yeah, he played on. Wait, did he actually tweet out that he can't be bothered?
Well,
the first one
more harsh.
The first one said, "Fuck it, dude, I'm gonna try to join him." The second one says, 4 hours later, "Okay, fuck this, I'm so tilted already."
The best part about that is I think he was like 1600 rating or something. He was miles away, which I think Jorius could get it if he tried and really just went for it. But I think he streamed it with no mic, no cam, and he just ended up like trading games with people who he's like, who is this? I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's such a joyous thing. Like, I'm gonna get him. Nah, can't be bothered.
Actually, I didn't realize he'd see it a second time.
Actually, I remember I was tuning into your stream one day, Jack, and you guys were talking about like when you wake up. And he was such like a typical gamer response. He's like, "Yeah, I wake up at noon, but never before." Yeah. And you struck me as sort of like a very adult sort of standpoint. You're like, "Yes, I get up at 8 a.m. every day, and I have an oatmeal, and then I go for a jog." And
yeah, to be fair, like I do like just to keep structure. I just don't wake up late. I go to bed quite early. But Jorius is the complete. I remember like at the LAN in France in January, I think he had to leave like in 10 minutes or something, or we thought he had to leave in 10 minutes, and he wasn't out of bed. Like, come on. But yeah, that's just Jorius in a nutshell.
I actually almost had a heart attack this morning. I get up, at a decent time every day. And I went into a Google Doc of something that Johnny and I were working on, and I saw Johnny online on the Google Doc, and I messaged him this morning. I was like, "Are you awake right now on Discord?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why?" I was like,
"Yeah, I'm never
WTF? What's wrong, dude? Did you stay up all night?" I immediately assumed that he pulled some all-nighter, like casting, a ones tournament in South America or something. I don't know.
Yeah. South America.
To be fair, Johnny messaged me at like 7:24 this morning. I was like, "What?"
Exactly.
So I know that I know you. I swear you go to bed or you stream at like 3 a.m. or something.
Yeah, very often. Yeah.
So
I did an all-nighter 2 nights ago to try and flip my schedule back.
Okay.
to normal.
So you actually just woke up at 7 a.m. Fair enough.
No, I woke up yesterday. Today I woke up at 2 a.m.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Oh wow, I
Yeah,
didn't realize it
I've
was
been
that
awake for
bad.
ages.
Okay,
Yeah, I've been awake for
nice.
ages.
Yeah,
It's
because
like
then we
really
had a
bad.
Discord call too, and he was very on point. He was awake.
Wide awake. Yeah.
I was working on it still. I was slow.
You weren't bad. You weren't bad. You know, you've got to go at 10, right, Jack, in 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, right. We want to talk about before you go. We want to talk about well, Salt Mine 2, obviously, a couple of matches there that we can. We already talked about Fusion, and RLCS X is the other topic. Well, I think we'll probably, since it's chronological order, start with Salt Mine 2. So again, we'll start off with the bad, and then we'll talk about the good after. The bad news was that you lost 2 qualifier finals. No, the first qualifier doesn't really matter. You were 6, so you didn't do very well there. But second and third one, you played against Dead Monster and Zamway. You were the favorite in both those finals. Did that play a part in those series not going your way? 'Cause usually before then you were always the underdog.
Yeah.
And you were doing really well.
Probably. Like, I'm not gonna lie, maybe first time being the favorite in other people's eyes. Definitely, yeah. I mean, against Dead Monster, he's always kind of just.
He's in the chat, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's listening, so be careful.
Or don't be careful.
Don't be careful. Actually, yeah.
I'll be careful with what I give away. You might even get a better reputation. But no, he just knows me quite well. He knows what I do, and I feel like when you play your teammates, you just change styles sometimes.
Yeah, Marky said that. He's like, there's going to be so many mind games that we're not even aware of happening right now. Because they're both going to be trying to trick each other.
Yeah, but against him, I kind of knew that he could. I knew he was good. Like, other people didn't think he was good. But I knew he was. He plays really well against top players. Excuse me. But he does very well against me, so I knew that I was gonna struggle even if I won. And against Samway, I don't even know because I normally beat him.
Yeah.
But I guess I lost that series. I mean, I did try my best, but maybe I had already made it. Maybe it kind of played a factor, but I'm not gonna go it off that because I did try my best to win.
Yeah, they were quite similar actually. Samway really changed his style between well, what I'd seen from him in the past and then what he did in that qualifier in particular. He was a very, very careful defensive kind
Yeah,
of
it was
player.
weird because
Very strange. 'Cause
Samway.
usually he's very aggressive, aerial based,
Yeah,
flashy, and then suddenly he's really grinded. I was like, what is going on with Samway? Working
yeah.
though. That caught me by surprise.
It is weird because if you look at his freeze, he is probably the biggest. I'll say it nicely, the biggest ball chaser in the world. And that's
When
not
he plays
necessarily
with
a bad
Giants,
thing.
so you have to be their
Yeah,
whole
too fair.
style is taking turns ball chasing, and they're good at it. But yeah,
Yeah.
what about that ones though? What
Oh,
happens if somebody changes up to their style or they play so differently? Are you remembering wait, no, in threes he does this. Why is he playing so
yeah,
slow?
it is weird. It is weird because you don't expect Zamo to be extremely solid. Because I always knew him as just ball chase. If we hit the ball there and it works, kind of thing. But he just didn't use many mechanics, and he kind of just played really solid, good 50s, good flicks, and good flick timing, especially. And he just played better on the day, I guess.
Yeah, you got the job done to a much higher level on the main event. Very interesting matches actually. Wasn't it in the main event where you got that crazy 0-second equalizer against Luis? Or am I thinking about another
Yeah.
game? Wasn't it the last game? He was winning by 1 goal, then you sent it into overtime with a double touch. Or no, that was
No.
when was this? Was that in a qualifier?
I think
was
it
a
was in a qualifier
qualifier.
because you weren't casting it.
It was me
Wait.
and Mark.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah. So
freaked
yeah, you
out.
played Luis and you got this crazy 0-second equalizer to set it into an overtime.
Yeah,
in a
it was
really quick
nasty.
game.
I freaked
And
out.
then, because what I'm thinking is when you played him in the main event, I was just thinking there's no way Luis can beat Jack after that happened the last time. Were you just really confident about that matchup after what you did to him in the qualifier?
I was confident anyway because I was playing a lot better in the main event, and I kind of I don't know if you saw me tweet about it, but like obviously that did help, that 0 second especially, and then beating him, that did give me a lot of confidence. But like I wasn't grinding ones when I really should have been. Like, but then so I lost my first round to Astral, I think
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
right. You did. Yeah.
And I tweeted out like this isn't me. I don't know why I'm not grinding ones. So I just like grinded ones. I obviously wasn't feeling the best throughout that whole thing, but
Right.
yeah, I grinded ones and then beat Loopy because of it, I think. But yeah, the obviously the previous win did help. But I respect him as a
Right.
player.
Right.
Like, I've known him for a few years
So
now.
yeah, what about the Astral series then? You did lose that one in the upper bracket. Like very close series though. Every game apart from one was a 1 goal
Yeah.
game.
Were
What's it
you
like playing against
casting it?
Astral? That one I can't remember if I was casting.
I
It
think we
was
might have
messy.
casted it together. I think it might have been me and you, Johnny. I can't remember though. There's so many,
Yeah.
matches and
It's
so
like
many
so many
same
games.
players in some of the
So
matches.
many
Yeah.
games, so many series.
But
I'm like, I don't remember what I casted to be honest. But yeah.
yeah, like I normally watch my series back just because I just enjoy watching it, see what people have to say. But I did not watch that one back because just
Really?
purely because it was not. It was so messy. I don't know what happened to both of us,
Mm.
but like it
Mhm.
made up for an entertaining series.
It did, yeah. It was
But like
scripted.
in our eyes, it wasn't good. But
Yeah.
you know, it's all right.
Yeah.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, with lower bracket you beat Revsy, who I think right now he might be upgrading to a 144 hertz monitor with the money he won in this tournament because he was
Yeah,
playing
he
on
did
60
it.
hertz this whole time.
Yeah, he did it like a couple of months ago now. Like just I think
Okay.
the week after Saltmine finished, he got
Oh,
it.
so a month ago then.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished a month ago. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy. But yeah, you got to play with him in the England team against KSA as well, and he got the clutch win
Oh,
there.
so
So
clutch.
yeah, what's the story with Revsy? Like he seems to be on the rise, but he couldn't beat you in Salt Mine 2.
In ones or threes or both.
Or yeah, a bit of both, I guess. Yeah, he's another one of those
So like
players in
yeah,
threes.
ones I'm sure you remember like when he first switched to PC. He switched to PC at Christmas. And he got like rank one. He was doing really well in your show matches. And then
Mhm.
I think he kind of like stopped playing ones to focus on threes because he was. I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. He wasn't just like any ones player like switching to threes for the first time. He wasn't very good, but his
Mhm.
mechanics kind of like carried him to a high like rank B plus level in six mans. So he went to switch to threes. He just didn't focus on ones. I think Salt Mine or Fusion probably. Because wait, did he sub in for someone in Fusion?
Yeah, he was playing for Domain and Alex
That's it.
161's team, if I'm not mistaken, but they
Yeah.
didn't do very
So
well either.
yeah, I'm sure he probably
He
grinded
went
a
game
bit
about
before
with each,
Fusion.
so in the qualifiers they won one each, I
hmm
think.
Before Fusion, I guess he started grinding ones, and I think it's any if Revsy wanted to get to near the top of ones, he could at any point.
Mhm.
He's just that like good at the game mode.
Yeah.
You saw that in the Saudi Arabia match. Him and Ixo carried me when
Yeah.
I was doing absolutely nothing and just kind of throwing. But so yeah, he's obviously extremely talented, and he's quite young, so he's got like a lot of time. And in threes, he's still learning the game mode, and he's still really good. So you know, he's got whatever like how good he wants to be is just in his hands, really.
So yeah, I guess the only other two players we need to ask you about before we talk about RLCSX is, well, Khaled and Jory. So firstly, Khaled, you got eliminated by him, but it was all very close games, a lot
Mm.
of 1 goal games actually. I think all but two were 1 goal games. Went to game 7. Um, like what was going on through your head in this series? Did you think, wait a minute, am I about to beat Khaled? Can I really do this? Or was there a feeling of inevitability that he was just going to get the edge again, like he often does?
I think you always have to have in mind against Khaled that he's kind of not like many other players. Like he's got such a different play style, and he's so good at just bringing it back. So I think even if I was up, I was like, oh, I've got to be really careful here. Whereas against other players, you might not be so careful. So that's kind of playing in my mind. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I beat this guy all the time in ranked. I do really well against him stylistically. Like I should be winning this. But then it's Khaled, so it's like kind of it's a back and forth. Like I knew I could win, but then Khaled's sometimes not even human in
Yeah.
ones.
But yeah,
yeah.
Jorius seems to have his number. Well, he got him in the
Oh
grand
yeah.
final. Obviously, that 7th game was the most one-sided game of the whole series. Jorius just popped off.
Yeah.
But that was a great series as well. Very close all the way down to the wire. But yeah, most of the time, Jorius seems to be the one guy who can surprise Khaled. Why do you think that is? What is it about Jorius that enables him to surprise even Khaled, who always seems so
Because
unshakable?
I think people brush across the fact that Khaled is. I think his main reason why he's so good at ones is partly due to his 50-50s. Like obviously his bounce dribbles are incredible and his decision making, but his 50-50s are unmatched against any other ones player except Joris. Like you'll see, I think in the Joris series, even he was beating Khaled on most of the 50s, and that just doesn't happen. So I think he's the only player that can beat him in that regards, and then he is also the best. He has the best mechanics in 1v1. Obviously there's Astral, but I think Joris's mechanics in ones is better.
Mm.
So I think there's no other player like Joris, whereas like you might have me, I have really good ground play, but I don't have as good as aerial play as Joris. Whereas someone like Louis P has really good aerial play and doesn't have the greatest ground play compared to whereas Joris has both. I think he's played Khaled so much that he kind of just knows what he does now. And
Mm.
yeah, he gets the win. I think Joris is the best in ones.
Mm. Well, best in one's tournaments, not best at getting 1800 apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
But
I think, but that's
I hope he'll get that as well.
yeah. You can look at it two ways because you can say Khaled is the best because he probably does better against anyone in ranked. So like he has just a better matchup against everyone, whereas Joris might lose to like just random sometimes.
Yeah,
But
Khaled's definitely well, Jarius is more tiltable, which lends
yeah, oh
itself to
yeah,
being upset more often. Or, if he's losing 4-0 to somebody who he doesn't even know in ranked, he's probably going to get a bit more annoyed at himself. If Khaled's losing 4-0 to
yeah,
somebody he doesn't know, he's going to be like, okay, let me just go score 5 goals. It's fine.
yeah. It's
They're totally different mental players, and Jarius has gotten so much, competitive experience in tournaments recently that is
Mhm.
becoming less and less of a factor. But you still have to put Khaled on a level of his own
Oh
in
yeah,
terms of mentality. I think only Fairy Peak has ever attained that kind of level of just it doesn't matter how much he's losing by, he might come back. You
yeah,
can't stop trying because he could just come back. You got to be careful
yeah.
against these
Maybe
guys.
Cooks
Yeah, maybe Cucks actually, way
in
back in the
Prime
day.
anyway. Yeah,
Prime Cucks. That's
Prime
like
Ones Cooks.
who's your top 5 all time then? Before we talk about RLCSX,
All
top 5
time in
all time.
ones.
Yeah, ones.
You have to put Khaled. You have to put Joris, I think, and then Fairy. Fairy. Are we saying EU or and NA?
And an A. Yeah, both.
Yeah, all time.
First Killer and
Wow, a lot of new school. A lot of new school in the top 5 all time.
yeah, and
That's probably
there's
fair,
so
actually.
many good players. There's so many good players. You got Cooks. You have to put Cooks in, but then you have to put OG Scrub Killer, OG Marky.
So
Like
there's 7
there's
in your top 5.
yeah, like even OG K-Dop was very good at
Oh yeah,
ones.
K-Dop was very
Like
good.
Who's your first one's inspiration?
um
Who are you like? Oh, I want to model my gameplay after them. Maybe just
Scrub.
aspirational. Scrub. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Because I've watched like Johnny's like 1v1 show matches since what I think before I even started playing because I started on Xbox where the game came out like a year later. So I
Interesting.
watched like
Okay.
the show matches probably before then. I think I could be wrong on that. So Scrub was like he was. You just remember the kickoff, don't you?
Yeah.
When
Mhm.
you think of
Yeah.
Scrub, and that I got very good at that originally. So I think I have to pick Scrub if I based
Okay.
Fair.
anyone off.
So it's 7 players there in the top
In top
5.
5, I
No
know.
no Dapper, no Lethamir, only
Oh, no,
First
you
Killer
can't be
for
doing this
NA.
to me. You
There's no
ca
Dapper or Letho.
Would you put
Who
Left
else
in
did
it?
we know? Top 5, no. No.
No,
I
maybe
was just,
Dapper. I
Who's your
could see
top 5,
Dapper.
Johnny?
my top 5,
Yeah.
Fairy Peak, Scrub, Khaled, um
Is he gonna put Jarius?
Jarius is close. I don't know if he First Killer's definitely in there. I think those four are definitely in there. Then Jarius is close. Like the other.
Jarius just hasn't had long enough of a reign for me to put him in a top 5.
He's on a show match win streak and he's won Salt Mine 2.
True. It's an Andy Murray sort of situation. It's a top 4, top 3 situation, or big 3 or whatever.
Well, Khaled only. I mean, the reason why Khaled is above is because he won the first Salt Mine, came second in Fusion, came second in Salt Mine 2. So he's like had consistency there. He's won more. I think he's won more 1v1 show matches than Jarius as well, which is noteworthy. But
I think Khaled. I thought they were both 9-0 on your stream, and then they played for 10-0.
I don't remember if they were both 9-0 at the time. I think Khaled may have played more.
Okay.
But they were both undefeated when they played.
That's it. Yeah.
On my team for the first time, and Jarius beat him. That is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. I don't know, like who else you could like put in to the top 5 ahead of.
When you put somebody like Marky or somebody that had like a longer reign?
Marky would be top 10 for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Same with Cooks. Definitely. You have to.
Cooks, Cooks definitely. Dapper definitely. Lethimer definitely. Yeah. They're all in top 10, but top 5. Is it Jarius? Is it one of those guys? I think.
Weirdly, I skew EU as well, just because I've been friends with you guys for so long, like you and Marky.
Dapper's definitely in there. He beat Cooks in his prime at Gold Rush 1v1 Live.
Yeah, Gold Rush 1. He was looking very, very, very unstoppable.
He was the first person, I think, to beat Cooks in a show match as well years ago. They played on US East, which is fair-ish ping, slightly better for Dapper. But yeah,
what about Devo? Grim Dark Flame said Devo scrub.
I don't know if I could put Devo in there.
I don't think he was at the top for long enough.
I don't know if he's top 10.
Okay, that's fair. He was definitely at the top for a little bit, though.
I remember Gold Rush 1 Dapper was something else.
Yeah.
I would put Flakes possibly.
Yep.
Flakes definitely top 10. He was the first guy to end Fairy Peak's insane run. And he won a lot, like, in a row as well. He came second, Salt Mine 1, so Flakes has to be in the top 10. But yeah, the number 5 is really tough. Really tough. Could be Jarius. Jarius is not bad. Number 5. Crow definitely. Well, how many have we mentioned? Fairy Peak, Scrub, Khaled, First Killer, Jarius. Then you've got to have Dapper, Lethimer, Cuxer, Marky. Is that 9? So then you've got one more spot. You got to pick like Kernovi, K-Dop, Ixo, Flores, Devo. Like take your pick. There's a lot, but yeah, Kernovi is definitely like a shout because of the. Yeah, he's got a bit of longevity as well. Although not the best results, he's still competitive.
Yeah, I think thinking back to it, you've got to put Scrub in top 5. Now that I've properly thought about it, I think he's probably had like one of the longest reigns, and he could still get up there if he wanted to.
Yeah,
like
he could. Yeah,
people are saying Scrub washed him once, but that's just because he doesn't like it.
It's just because he doesn't respect all the new players. Like when he's playing Resi, he's doing all these pointless little bunny hops. I'm like, what is Scrub doing?
Oh, I saw
like,
that. Yeah.
Yeah. What is he playing at? I mean, I think he was streaming it, and he's like, if you put Scrub in there against any of the top guys, players the players that the community knows are really insane, Scrub will play out of his mind. He'll try and win. But if you put him against like an up and coming player, he's like, what have I got to win here? If I beat this guy, everybody will say, of course. And if I lose,
I think Scrub is still extremely competitive, but he feels like he has less to prove in ones. And I think that is like a real motivator for Scrub. I remember him talking to you, Johnny, I think back in the day when Marky was sort of starting to decline. Marky was kind of burning out, just lost his passion a bit for the game. And I think Scrub was like, oh, he's so bad. I would never let myself get that bad. How did that happen? And I think Scrub still has that fire, but not the same fire that he had back then.
He told me, he definitely said on stream that he's not going to stop until he beats Khaled in a series. And then, 2 weeks later, he's like, nah, this is my last one's tournament ever because he lost to Resi or something. And I'm like, well, clearly he only wants to beat the best. He doesn't want to beat the guys on the way to beating the best.
Yeah.
He only wants to beat the top guys, Fairy, Khaled. Maybe he wants to beat you now, Jack, after you've had some good runs.
I know that he
recently probably wouldn't care at all about an apparently Jack. When he'd be like, who's this guy? I'm going to bunny hop in the corner and lose.
Yeah.
It's just silly. Is it like ego protection though? All this little jumping around and
maybe, yeah.
quote unquote styling.
Maybe he doesn't want to lose, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'm not trying, everybody. Just messing around. This guy's the sweaty 50-50 guy. I'm just having some fun over here. How much of that do you think is playing into it?
Who knows? But I think he's still definitely top 5. Got to
Oh,
put
for
him in
sure.
there.
Yeah. I think number 2. I think Scrub
Yeah.
number 2. Fairy and Scrub. I mean, Scrub won both 12 Titans and the Madfield.
Yeah, exactly.
He's unbelievable.
And God knows how many show matches.
Yeah, a lot.
Can't wait till we squash this virus and we can do a Salt Mine World LAN.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be
that'd be so good.
1v1 LAN. Yeah. I don't think the Rocket League community is ready for a 1v1 LAN. Yeah. They don't know how much fun they're going to have with that.
You have to bring Trash Talk to into if that comes.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Of course.
There's no better, you have to.
Are you going to start talking trash, by the way? You're like the nicest person. You're like defending everybody all the time. I was asking Exotic, I think, about his name because he chose some ridiculous name for the Salt Mine stream. And you're like, leave him alone. It's a really nice name. And I'm like, Jack might be the nicest person in the scene. Are we gonna get some trash talk out of you, buddy?
That one was probably sarcastic, but
okay, fair enough.
I mean, if it was at 1v1 LAN, you have to. It's part of the. It's part.
You heard it here, folks.
We'll make it happen.
I'd never do it out of spite, but you got it.
Okay, that's fair. That's a champion attitude.
We'll need to farm the salts.
Yeah. So Jack, we haven't really made any announcements about this, but we do have something in the works for the next evolution of Salt Mine. We're not announcing it yet, but do you want to take a guess at what it is? If you get it right, I'll just be like, yeah, you're right.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah, me and Johnny are working on the next iteration of the Salt Mine.
Yeah, the next iteration of Salt Mine is in the works.
Kind of why I asked you. I was like, hey, do you think you want to play in any ones tournaments, bud?
As in a LAN, or.
Well,
we can't plan. I'm not gonna lie, we can't plan LAN.
Yeah, it's a bit infectious right now, but that is definitely going to happen. In the future.
I just love to settle the whole his first killer, people saying, "Oh,
yeah,
true.
You get destroyed by all the 1v1 players."
True.
Shut up.
True. Yeah, that would be really cool to. That would be really
cool. You think first
killer
would beat the top of you guys?
100%. I think anyone at the top of 1v1 can beat anyone at the
top.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say 100%, like he's better, but I know you mean
no.
Yeah, if we had a Salt Mine LAN today, who wins, buddy?
I think you still got to put him at below Kaz and Joris, but he's literally he's destroying everyone in NA.
Yeah,
and
for a long time.
But then I'm not gonna comment on it.
I think I don't know about the physical stature of people enough to say who would win at LAN, but I think somebody's going to have an in-person presence that is going to dominate the other personalities, especially.
That's quite interesting. Yeah.
I really think so. Forky's jacked, right? And he's pretty good at ones, and he shows up and he's flexing and stealing shots.
Jumping around on one side of the stage and then the other guy's just by himself. The other side, I'm losing.
That
would be insane.
He's hyping up the crowd. He's just
imagine if Fruity played once. He'd just pick up a desk or something and throw it across the stage after scoring a flip reset goal. You just have the other player terrified. We'll find out if Khaled would win if it was today, though.
Yeah. Again,
he just grinded a bunch of ranked and beat everybody.
Assuming he could deal with trash talk in person, I guess is what I'm saying, because I think that's it's a true factor. And also,
I don't think Cal would get tilted. Trash talk. I don't think he cares. He's just gonna go play Rocket League.
Could be. And then, do you remember? I remember when season 1 happened. IBP at the time, right? They were saying how it was easy to get dunks, really easy to get dunks and stuff because it made people play different at LAN. I wonder if that would still be a factor with 1v1 LAN. If people would play different.
Zero presence. He was yelling and jumping around. Definitely a big thing. LAN is totally different. That's what we have to see at 1v1.
LAN is so good. So good.
Yeah. It would be
so that'll happen. But before LAN, while we're still, worldwide semi-quarantine, do you have any guesses?
I really want to come up with a guess, but my mind's just gone blank. What could you?
Do you have any requests? Maybe that's even better. What would you like to What would you like to see? Is there anybody you'd like to play?
Is there anyone I'd like to play?
Yeah, you want to run it back or something?
Against Khaled.
Okay, the Khaled rematch. Okay, you think you'd take it the next one?
You got right. The thing is, when you go into matches, you have to back yourself. You have to give, like, you have to be confident.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you have to have that confidence. It's not arrogance, but yeah.
What would so best of 5? What's the game count? You over Khaled?
To be fair, it's 3-0.
3-0. I like it.
Yeah.
He's in land mode, Johnny. He's in land mode.
Land mode.
I'd love it. That'd be so good. So good.
Sick.
Yeah, one day.
Sick,
one day.
Definitely happening. All right, we have a few minutes to talk about RLCSX because you just qualified for the second stage with your current team, Dead Monster and Polar, and yourself and Stormtroopers. So, first question. I mean, you didn't play any of the previous RLCS league plays or anything, but what was it like playing this format as a player? You know, playing 5 series back to back to back to back to back. First of all, format.
I love the format. Like, I think it's sick, just because you just get all the bubble teams getting to play against the top teams and actually finally proving themselves. Over like so you can lose twice, whereas in RLCS you play only bubble teams, and if you lose twice, you're out. It's all on one day. So I love this new format personally, and I think like pro teams have kind of just always gone, if they lost to a bubble team in an open qualifier tournament, if they're a bubble team, we don't even play them. Who cares? It's just like a bit of luck, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Now, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Now they can't do that, because if you do that and you get knocked out, you're not an RCS player anymore. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I love it personally.
That's cool.
I mean, you have to be able to like endure long tournaments, because I think it took us 7 hours. Obviously, not all 7 hours of playing, but you have to kind of like keep a good mental state throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, the matches that I saw from you guys were really, really entertaining. They were great stuff. But it wasn't like a flawless run.
Oh no.
Did have some hiccups. Like, what would you say is your guys' biggest thing to improve on going into the next stage, which is another 16-team Swiss going to 8, so the same again, but with harder matchups? What are you trying to do differently this time?
I don't think we have to do anything differently. I think we were only like struggling against Dig, for example, because of the pressure, the nerves. Now we've played on the official stream 3 times. In the last 2 matches, we were completely fine. We were playing how we wanted to, and just against Endpoint, it just didn't go our way in that series. Like, in terms of play style, I think just being like calm in defense still. We've worked on it a lot, but I think there's definitely improvements for that. I think our attack is pretty spot on with what we've got in terms of individual ability right now.
I like it. Matt, do you have any questions on RLCSX?
No, not really. I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah, it's I guess I just want to say thanks for coming on the podcast. And yeah, you've been a really exciting player to watch, and I think that I think you've got a good attitude generally. Like we were just saying the whole time during Salt Mine stuff, Jack is just such a lad. So keep it up. keep doing your thing. Top lad, absolutely.
And where can people
class, as you kids would say in the UK. You're very class.
Yeah, class, of course.
Class act. Yeah, well, we've got your Twitter on the screen. What's your Twitch? Because you do stream. You're still streaming quite regularly, right?
Yeah. I took a break this week to focus on RLCSX, but I'll get back to it. It's twitch.tv/ApparentlyJack_RL.
You're one of the _RL gang.
Excellent.
Right. Of course.
Excellent.
All right.
All right, chat. We're gonna be wrapping this up here. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 3 of the Saltcast. Do we know who we should host? By the way, Johnny, can you look to see who I should host?
Find out. Yeah, we've got it. We also need to, if you guys in chat want to, have anybody on the show. We had Jack today, first guest.
Yeah, let us know.
First guest, I guess, really, but he's not a player anymore, so obviously that's nowhere near as exciting. But yeah, what players would you guys want to have on? I mean, Jack, who would you want to hear us talk to? Out of anyone?
I think you get one of the Magnifico guys over.
Greasy. You want
Oh,
Greasy?
yeah, Greasy.
Yeah, that would be fun. We should definitely talk to Greasy. That's a good shout, actually.
We'll have the Subpar and HD guys on next week. They're going to be on next week. We're going to be here on Tuesday doing that. But yeah, I think generally we're going to start reaching out to a lot more people and doing this. If you guys do want to be in the know when this happens, be sure to slap that follow button there and then give me subs as well.
Yeah, we may even still have a founder badge for you available.
Oh yeah, actually, I don't know if there's a founder's badge available or not yet.
Maybe a founder's
last
badge.
episode we got the first subs going. Because of Saltmine 2, I got a Twitch affiliate in the very first 30 days that I streamed, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, lots more content. Actually, Johnny and I are going to be casting tomorrow. Yes. Oxygen's grid games, right? Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing the grid games for Oxygen.
That'll be on Johnny's stream.
6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Central European.
I might be co-streaming on my stream as well. I don't know if I think I'll be co-streaming that as well. And then on Friday we are also doing the Space Station Gaming games. So Mission Control, and they actually just put up a tweet about that. That looks like it's probably pretty hilarious. Have you seen it? Yeah, they cropped your head in some sort of like NASCAR thing.
I'm a redneck in that. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think it's probably right on the money. So go check that out, guys. Anyways, yeah, drop a follow. Thanks for hanging out. We will be back in the future. Who am I hosting?
Host Cash RL, just KASHRL, all one word. He's streaming some 6-mans, then Fall Guys. Okay, cool. I'm gonna host Cash RL. Thank you guys. Have a good night, and we will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Saltcast. You can find all the episodes, links to the YouTube and Twitch, and everything else you need in your life at my site, smelly.af. Head over there, and I'll see you in the chat for the next show.